Welcome back. This time we're talking about the 1517 to Paris, the latest film from Clint Eastwood and telling the true story of the men who managed to stop a terrorist attack aboard a train bound for Paris back in August 2015. Much has been made about the fact that this film stars the three Americans who were integral in stopping the attack: Spencer Stone, Alek Skarlatos, and Anthony Sadler. And really, you can't say enough about what these three men, as well as some others on that train, did, because they saved countless lives by stopping this attacker who had hundreds of rounds of ammunition ready to lay waste to those on this train. I salute them. I think they deserve all of the praise they can get. Unfortunately, the film telling their story is not good. I was utterly surprised on how just bad this movie is. The acting across the board is not terribly good. Now, obviously, the three leads are not trained actors, but for the most part, they're not that bad. The worst performances in this movie are not theirs. Part of that can also be attributed to the fact that the dialogue in this movie is downright atrocious. It is just bad. Which brings me to the script, and the biggest problem in this movie is that it is exceedingly boring. I am not someone who finds slow movies a bad thing, so I'm honestly not sure how many times I've said in a movie that it was boring in 11 years of reviewing films. This may be one of the most boring movies I've ever seen, or at least in quite a few years. It is just a trod. I don't know what happened. When Eastwood directed Sully, that was also a movie about a singular moment in time that did not last very long. The question going in, how do you turn that into a full movie? And he managed to do that, showing scenes before the event, after the event, building the tension of the hearings that were held after the fact. That was a riveting movie. It did have some slow points here or there, but that was a movie that I felt was quite successful in doing what it was doing. Here, this is a film, again, about a singular moment that lasted only a handful of minutes. And the purpose of the script and the purpose of the film is to show how these unrelated, disparate events in these three men's lives led them to this moment with the wherewithal and the skills and the ability to act to take care of this situation. And there are moments where you can see that, where you can see them as children, how they were led into the military, their aspirations led them, at least two of them, into the military, how different trainings gave them different skills that they would ultimately use in that moment. The problem is we can tell that that's what's happening. But there's not a lot linking these individual events until you get to the end. It just seems more like a montage, a really long, slow montage showing how they gain the skills that they would use at the end. And that would have been bad enough, but the three men, they were on a European trip while two of them were on leave. And once they get to Europe, my God, this film just stops. There's no action. It is literally like sitting and watching your friend do a slideshow of their vacation. Just pictures. Because all they do is literally check into hotels, order breakfast, order beer, order dinner, go sightseeing. There's literally more screen time devoted to one of theirs obsession with selfies and a selfie stick than the attack. I mean, it is just, oh my God, this movie is slow and nothing happens. For like the half hour at least, from the point that they finally get to Europe, nothing happens for the next half hour except for them just sitting around, drinking, going to a party. And that's what makes the real life story so interesting, is that these were the ordinary men put in an extraordinary situation. That's the tagline for the film. I just didn't realize how ordinary their lives were, because it doesn't make for an entertaining movie at all. I don't know. I mean, there could have been so many different ways they could have gone about this. One being just make a 10-minute long movie, make a short film, and be done with it. Maybe show the after effects of how this affected them. Maybe how their military careers may have been affected, since they're now might have targets on them because of them stopping this attack. The fame that came with it. That was some of the things that Sully dived into that was interesting. Here, basically, and it's not really a spoiler, you know what happens, is that there's the attack, then they have the medal ceremony where they were given medals by the French president, and then the movie ends. I mean, that's it. I just... It's amazing how little happens in this film. Even when they're like overseas and in the military, one character was deployed, and they had like this whole situation where something happens. They have to go back to this village, and you're thinking, "Oh my God, something's going to happen." No, nothing at all. I mean, wow. I wanted to like this movie. I thought this story was interesting. I wanted to learn more about it, and I got 80 minutes of really boring life stories, I guess, and half of that is a European trip, and then 10 minutes of action, and then 10 minutes of resolution, and that's it. I was utterly shocked with how bad this movie is. So again, salute the real men who obviously were in this movie. They actually did a halfway decent job. I was actually surprised with how well they were in this. I'm not going to call them Academy Award-winning performers, but they were solid. It's just the script around them. Wow. So, yeah, in no way can I recommend this movie. I'm sorry. It's not good. So for now, I'm going to turn it over to you. If you've seen the 1517 to Paris, what did you think about it? And if you haven't, what's the most boring movie you've ever seen? I'm curious, because like I said, I'm very open to slow moving movies. Rarely will I say a movie's actually boring. This is one case where I can say that. So as always, you can subscribe to my channel, check out some of my other reviews, and until next time, I'll see you at the movies.